are from the team that excelled in Malaysia earlier this year, including Lilian Ude, Shola Dekunle Kende Amusa, Peace Hussein, Victory Benedio, Anointed Ahigbe, Christabel Chukunoye, and Omosigo Egwakun. Wicket keeper Sarah Eti will also serve as vice captain, while the team has one debutant, Osayende Omohibo. Osayende Omohobioho. Fierce batter Salome Sunday as ever present and nameless is synonymous with cricket in Nigeria, and Rachel Sampson complete the team. Nigeria will face Zambia, Zimbabwe, I beg your pardon, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Namibia, Rwanda, and Sierra Leone at the qualifiers. The top two teams from the Africa qualifiers will advance to the global qualifiers, which will be played later on in the year. The Women's T20 World Cup 2026 will go down in England, one powerhouse when it comes to cricket. Based on tidbits of Nigerian sporting stories, before we hit you with transfer stories, football stories, and then we give you some bits of tennis. As Team Nigeria has arrived in Ahmedabad, Team Nigeria has arrived in Ahmedabad, India for the 2025 Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship, a week-long competition that also serves as qualifiers for next year's Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. The Nigerian contingent comprises 12 lifters across multiple categories with a mix of debutants and experienced campaigners. Marut Asukwo in the women's 48 kg category, Didion Umofia, men's 68 category, both from Akwa Ibom State, while Asukwo will be marking her international debut. Umofia returns for his second championship, having first competed in Uzbekistan in 2021, where he qualified for Birmingham 2022 and went on to win 2 bronze medals. Yes, the full team, the full squad includes Omolola Onome in the women's 53 kg, Favor under Governor Umo Eno. Nigeria's pedigree in the sport remains strong, with the country's lifters having claimed multiple medals at continental and global competition over the years. Director General of the Director General of National Sports Commission, Bukola Olopade, urged the team to sustain that legacy. According to his words, he said, "Our lifters have consistently proven their strength and discipline. I have no doubt they will make the nation proud again." The 2025 Commonwealth Weightlifting Championship runs from 25th August to 30th in Ahmedabad, while the 2026 Commonwealth Games will take place in Glasgow from July 23rd to August 2nd, 2026. let's switch to football as we are preparing for the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now we'll take the story of Super Eagles. Super Eagles head coach Eric Schell says the team will pull up some surprises in the remaining 4 games of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, despite being written off in the race to the tournament, which will be played in the United States of America, Canada, and Mexico. The 3 countries will be co-hosting the expanded 2026 FIFA World Cup. After 6 rounds of matches, the Super Eagles are 4th in their qualifying Group C with 7 points, 6 points from behind South Africa, who lead the group with 13 points. Schell has only managed 2 of their first 6 games in the series, beating Rwanda 2-0 in Kigali before an unfortunate 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe Unuyo in March. The previous handlers before him, Jose Pizarro and Finidi George, handled 2 games each without any wins. Despite Nigeria's precarious situation in the group, Schell admits that the team has been written off, but remains confident that they can climb the mountain successfully. I actually believe and share in that optimism that we can climb the mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro, and see ourselves in the FIFA 2026 World Cup. I don't know if my intern in the studio, Ola Yenikon Christiana, agrees with that. Okay, I have on the show this morning one of our intern, Ola Yenikon Christiana. Ola Yenikon, good morning, how are you? Okay, I can see you nodding your head when I said actually share in the optimism of Coach Eric Schell that Nigeria Super Eagles will make it to the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
You definitely qualify strengths last year, this year's match here, teams in front. And I believe once our guys are here on the field, they will get like this game.
Okay.
Osime, that's Itoshime, Van, and the rest of them.
Okay.
So make us proud this time.
You believe we can get the win? Okay, the qualifiers is coming up next month. One in Uyo, then one in South Africa. We will play in Rwanda here in Uyo, and then we will go to South Africa and play South Africa. So what's your those 2 games? Do you have the belief that we can at least win? We need 6 points from the 2 games.
Yes, we can do it.
That is 6 points first. Yes. Then before we play others, we have 4 games. So if you look at 4 games, and 3 points for each game, that is 12 points maximum. So this one you do. Do you think we can get all the 12 points at stake?
It's possible. It's possible if our guys are connected and this time they are really teaming up, not doing one-sided. They are coming together as a team. I believe we can do anything if we are together in
Okay, that's an attitude of never say never, don't never die attitude of Nigerians. You believe if they should put that spirit, it can work. Okay, just like the Super Falcons that you were so happy that day. Okay, the Super Falcons of Nigeria made you proud, and I know how happy you were that day, and you were like, oh, okay. All right, Ola Yenikon says we can get it. We can get it. 12 points at stake. All right, coach. Coach Eric Shell said, I am concentrating on preparing my players for the remaining 4 matches that we have. I think that we are going to surprise a lot of people because we've been written off. The Super Eagles will be back in camp in Uyo on September 1st for their first 2 games in the series. Yes, they will play the Amavubis of Rwanda in Uyo before battling the Bafana of South Africa in Bloemfontein in the second game for the September fixtures. So let's keep our fingers crossed. We have a mountain to climb, and Coach Eric Shah says we can climb that mountain, and we will hit the mountain top and land and Canada. Okay, let's take this story from boxing. Heavyweight sensation Moses Itwama is set for a ring return in December with manager Francis Warren confirming the WBO #1 contender will fight in front of a British audience following his debut in Riyadh. Warren, son of Queensbury promoter Frank, spoke of his pride after the teenager demolished veteran Dillian White in just 1 round earlier this month and outlined potential opponents, the next step in Itwama's rapid ascent. According to Warren, he said, I am immensely proud of him for what he did, not just on the fight night, but the way he conducted himself during fight week. He is a consummate professional. What's next? Watch. Warren confirmed that the names in the frame for Itwama's December bout range from undisputed champion Alexander Usyk of Ukraine to WBO mandatory challenger Joseph Parker, insisting that if a major opportunity presents itself, they will take it with both hands. However, one name that particularly interests Warren as Itwama's next opponent is Filip Hrgović, who also fought on Riyadh undercard against British Nigerian-born heavyweight boxer David Adeleye. It is a fight that's not seen as career-defining, where that's on us to decide on what step we're to take next. I like the Filip Hrgović fight. We'll just see how Phillips cut his up. It was a pretty nasty cut he got against David Adeleye, but who knows what option we might have. That is according to Warren. At 33, the Croatian sits at the WBO #2 contender and would represent another strong step in Itwama's development, having faced Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce, and David Adeleye in the last 3 fights. Given the depth of Britain's heavyweight division, Hrgović has repeatedly been matched with UK opponents, making him a familiar face for British boxing fans. Itwama's demolition of White earlier this month promoted lavish praise from former heavyweight champion Tyson Fury, who claimed the young prospect will wreck established names, including Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Boxing is a young man's game, like I told Vladimir Klitschko when he was 37. Fury had posted on social media, Moses Itwama will wreck all of them old men out of the division. The 13-0 heavyweight with 11 knockouts has been described by Fury as the future of boxing following his rapid rise through the professional ranks. Alright, the program is Citizen Sports. I still have in the studio with me Olau Yenikon Christiana. Just joining us is Chidera. All our intern. Chidera Igbokwe is the name. I hope it's not Christian Igbokwe. Blessed memory. Are you related? Okay. Alright, let's go for this breeder. And when we come back, we'll hit you with more footballing stories, transfer stories. As finally, Victor Boniface has spoken.
This is Evangelist Professor Ebenezer Obey. I also enjoy listening to Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Please keep on listening to the soul of the nation. Thank you.
Welcome back from that breeder. We are the soul of the nation. It is Citizen Sports, eating your speakers from 93.7 FM with me, Emmanuel Fashimi. Yes, the soul of the nation. We are the soul of sports. All the sporting stories, the juicy ones, we'll break it here on Citizen Sports. All right, let's go straight to Victor Boniface, as Victor Boniface has finally broken his silence following the collapse of his proposed move from Bayer Leverkusen to AC Milan, admitting that his long-standing knee problem played a decisive role in the transfer breakdown. The 24-year-old who had traveled to Italy for medicals with the Rossonero was subjected to 4 different tests before Milan pulled out of the deal. The Serie A side had agreed terms with Leverkusen, including a €5 million loan fee and a €24 million option to buy, but concerns over his fitness history ultimately led to the cancellation of that deal. Speaking during the week, Boniface acknowledged the effect of repeated injuries on his career. He recalled how 2 anterior cruciate ligament tear earlier in his career left him questioning whether to continue playing at all, especially as the second setback coincided with the loss of his mother. Yes, let me quote his words accordingly. Word for word, he said, "I gave up at the point. When others were playing football, I was just working hard to get back. After my second ACL injury, I didn't even want to play again because of the pain of the first and what I went through during the second. I lost my mom around that time too." Indeed, it was a trying moment for the young man. But let me quickly say this to our listener out there. Please, Victor Boniface need our support, need our prayer, need everything right now so that he can get his career back on track. Because situations like this, if not handled carefully, can wreck someone and can allow someone to go into depression. But I believe he's going to bounce back strongly, and Bayer Leverkusen should give him chance to continue with them. This was a man that scored 11 goals last season, and before then he notched up 24 goals in his 4th season with the Bayer Leverkusen in the Bay Arena. So he should be given the chance to express himself if Ten Hag is wise enough, because he started his Bundesliga campaign on a losing note over the weekend when they lost their first game at home 2-1. So Victor Boniface is back with the team. Give him the chance to get you the goods. The Nigerian international also confirmed that his injury history was central to Milan's hesitation after the failed medicals. didn't work out because of my past injury. I had a knee injury twice on my right leg, and it has been there for a long time. Boniface, who missed part of each of the last 2 seasons in Germany with muscular problems, stressed that he was determined to keep working despite the collapse of the transfer, and urged critics to understand the struggles professional athletes face. Indeed, these are some of the struggles that professional athletes face. You don't just sit down and criticize them. Please, if you want to criticize, let it be a constructive criticism. Despite the disappointment of missing out on high-profile switch, the striker remains under contract at Leverkusen, where he joined from Belgian side Union Saint-Gilloise for a fee of 20.5 million euros in the summer of 2023. He has 3 years left on his current deal and is expected to play a key role under new coach Erik ten Hag this season. This is the second transfer setback for Boniface in 2025, following the breakdown of a 60 million euros move to Saudi Arabian club side Al Nassr in January. Right, you know, as we do it on this show, let's continue with some Nigerian transfer stories, because if we don't talk about them, no one, the white man will not talk about our Nigerian players moving from one club to another. But we have to give our own advice. Galatasaray are weighing up a possible move for Club Brugge midfielder and Super Eagles midfielder Raphael Onyedika in the region of 30 million euros as the Belgian champions brace themselves for the potential exit of 3 key players in the final days of the transfer window. Onyedika is open to taking the next step in his career and has been offered to the Turkish champions, who are considering the proposal but are yet to make a formal bid, according to reports emanating from Turkey. Raphael Onyedika wants to leave Club Brugge and has been offered to Galatasaray. That is according to a Turkish sports journalist, Finito Göker, who wrote on Twitter. The Turkish champions have not yet rejected the proposal, while his transfer fee is said to be in the region of 20 million euros to 30 million euros. Nigeria, who joined Brugge in 2022, has also attracted new interest from West Ham United, who see him as a potential successor to Mexico international Ederson Álvarez. While Onyedika is receptive to a new challenge, he is not thought to be pushing for a transfer, leaving the matter in the hands of the clubs. Brugge have, however, faced an increasingly delicate balance act. The Belgian side are reportedly under pressure, with defender Joel Ordonez actively seeking a move to Marseille after the French club launched an offer close to 30 million euros. Tensions are said to be growing between the Ecuadorian and the club hierarchy as he pushes for a deal. According to Vuelta by Premier, Onyedika's departure would be cushioned somewhat by the recent arrivals of Ludwig Rees and Alexander Stankovic in midfield, as well as the contract extension handed to highly rated prospect Linet Audor even so, Bruges are reluctant to lose the Nigerian, especially with the Champions League commitments looming. For the club's leadership, the situation is a stark dilemma as they reportedly hold firm to protect their sporting ambitions or cash in on offers that could exceed 90 million euros in total for 3 players. Let's go straight to the English Premier Football League with one game played last night, and we start with the manager of Liverpool and Slot, who has hit out at Newcastle United approach to the Premier League clash last night. The reigning champions have threw away a 2-goal lead at St. James's Park but ended up winning 3-2. Ryan Gravenberch and Hugo Ekitike gave the Reds a 2-goal lead in what was a fierce encounter. Although Bruno Guimaraes and William Oswala leveled the game for the Magpies, Rio Ugomoha grabbed a dramatic league winner for the Reds. Speaking after the game, Slot said, "I am not too sure if I saw a football match today. It was a set piece after set piece, long throw. It didn't have a lot to do with tactics. What I said before the game, but I liked a lot how we stood strong. Very difficult first half, 45 minutes, but we didn't collapse at all. We stood strong." The game ended 3-2 in favor of Liverpool. Goals from Gravenberch, Hugo Ekitike, and Nigerian-born Ugomoha gave Liverpool all 3 goals and gave them the 3 points. Guimaraes also another Nigerian, Oswala, got the 2 goals for Newcastle United. The fixtures of game played last night, the results of those games in the Spanish La Liga. Atletico Bilbao, Athletic Club in match day 2 beat Rayo Vallecano 1-0 at their home ground, while Sevilla lost to Nigerian Super Eagles midfielder Cristiantus Uchesti. Getafe, they defeated Sevilla at the Sanchez Pidron Stadium 2-1 on the night to run away with all 3 points. In the Italian Serie A, there were 2 games also, as Udinese were held to a 1-1 draw by Hellas Verona, while Inter Milan started the season on a high-flying note under their new manager Chivu with a 5-0 thrashing of Torino at the San Siro. We know that Let's give you some fixtures of UEFA Champions League game that will be played tonight. It is a Champions League qualification series for now. Let's give you those games lined up for today, and then fixtures for the English Football League Cup. Round 2, give you all of the fixtures in the world of football for today. Let's start with the Champions League as Kairat Almaty who welcome Celtic of Scotland. The second leg of the UEFA Champions League qualifier. Pafos FC take on FK Zevna Zevda. While Bodø Glimt of Norway travel to Austria to face Sturm Graz. In the Carabao Cup, now League Cup in England, the Carling Cup, they call it. Reading FC will take on AFC Wimbledon. Cambridge United versus Charlton Athletic, while West Ham United will face Wolverhampton Wanderers. In all Premier League affairs, AFC Bournemouth also will take on Brentford in another Premier League affair as Accrington Stanley battles Doncaster Rovers. Barnsley versus Rotterdam United. Birmingham City face Port Vale. Wycombe Wanderers entertains Bromley. As a Premier League side team, Burnley take on Derby County. Bolton Albion versus Lincoln City. Cardiff City will play Cheltenham Town. Millwall Coventry City, Norwich City versus Southampton, Preston North End, and Wrexham will face up. Stoke City versus Bradford City. Sunderland will take on Huddersfield. Swansea City versus Plymouth Argyle. Wigan Athletic battle Stockport County as Sheffield Wednesday will lock horns with Leeds United. All of these games are in the Carling Cup tonight in the English Cup in the Premier League in England. And there's one DFB poker game, round 1 in Germany, as entrant Braunschweig will take on VfB Stuttgart. Let's take this from tennis before we quickly give you some few transfer stories as this transfer window is gradually winding down. Spanish second seed Carlos Alcaraz marked his progress to the US Open second round with a golf swing celebration in honor of watching Masters champion Rory McIlroy. Sporting an eye-catching new haircut, the 22-year-old Alcaraz looked sharp in a 6-4, 7-5, 6-4 victory over a huge serving American opponent Riley Opelka. The five-time major champion managed to break once in each set, avoiding being dragged into a tie-break by the sixth best server on the ATP Tour. Alcaraz's victory came shortly after the knee golfer was introduced to Northern Ireland's McIlroy earlier on Monday at the Flushing Meadows. He said it was the first time that I met him. It was such an honor. On the last day of the Masters, I had just won Monte Carlo and I was on my phone sharing on him. Seeing off the challenge of Opelka, ranked 67th in the world as he continues to rebuild his career after injury, means Alcaraz has still not lost a first round match in his 19 Grand Slam appearances. The 2022 US Open champion goes on to face Italy's Mattia Bellucci in the second round, where he suffered a shock defeat by unseeded Dutch opponent Botic van Zandersloot last year. Still continue with tennis as Koma Wong was still soaking, becoming the first male player from Hong Kong to win a Grand Slam singles match in the Open era when his phone flashed with a congratulatory message from Rafael Nadal. The 21-year-old qualifier had just beaten Alexander Kovacevic 6-4, 7-5, 7-6, 7-4 to secure his own slice of tennis history. Wong, who started playing tennis at the age of 5, moved to Nadal's Real Mallorca's academy in Spain at the age of 17. He said, I'm still soaking it because it's a big moment for me and also my family and Hong Kong people back home. It means a lot. That is Wong talking. But Nadal will not be the only one sending Wong a congratulatory message. It was in Spain that Wong met fellow history maker Alexandra Ella, who won on Sunday, became the first player from the Philippines in the Open era to win a Grand Slam singles match. Alex helped me a lot to get used to the environment because she was there for a long time. I had never been to Spain before and I barely go to Europe before. So from being a little kid from Hong Kong all the way to Spain, it's tough. The Open era refers to any time. The Open era refers to any time after 1968. The Open era refers to any time after 1968 when Grand Slams allowed professional players to compete alongside amateurs. Wong will face Adam Walton in the next round after the Australian beat French 22nd seed Hugo Humbert 6-4, 7-6, 7-5, 5-7, 6-1. Okay, just Just two transfer stories before we go away from the show, as we are out of time. Chelsea have agreed a deal to loan 24-year-old Senegalese striker Nicolas Jackson to Bayern Munich. England midfielder Kobe Mainoo will consider leaving Manchester United in the final week of transfer window if the club receive a suitable offer. What a pity. Crystal Palace have tabled a £15 million offer for Manchester City Swiss defender Manuel Akanji, while Manchester United and Denmark striker Rasmus Højlund will get a sizable pay rise should they agree to join Napoli for the transfer deadline. Tottenham Hotspur, on the other hand, could be facing rejection from a fourth major transfer target after Como turned down a £50 million offer from Spurs for 20-year-old Argentine midfielder Nico Paz, while Wolves hunting Wanderers will hand striker Jurgen Strand Latin a new contract after rejecting a £50 million bid from Newcastle United. Could still be tempted to tell the 25-year-old if they receive an offer in excess of £75 million. Alright, this is where we'll leave the program today. Citizen Sports, I have been working with Ola Yenikon Christiana and Chidera Igbokwe. Yeah, we're in time. Here with us, Citizen FM. Guys, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for listening and welcome to this. Thank you so much.
All right, you hear their voices. This is where we'll leave it. Catch you at the other side. Up next is Inside with Lawrence Uwete.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to